So with this equation again, you know you have simultaneous equations because you've got x's and you've got y's. So you need to either get rid of the x's or get rid of the y's. Depends which one you want to get rid of. In this case, I know that if I scale up my first equation by 2, I'll end up with 2x. So if I've got 2x in the top and 2x in the bottom, I'll be able to get rid of the x's by subtracting the equations. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll scale up the first equation and I'll get 2x plus 4y equals 16. The second equation remains the same, which is 2x plus 3y equals 14. So that's the first step, right? Now what I need to do is I need to look at those two equations and I need to think, will I add them or subtract them? So in order to get rid of the x's, in this case, I'll need to subtract my equations. So I'm going to subtract the 2x, I'll have to subtract the 3y, and I'll have to subtract the 14. So in this case, the x's will cancel, and I'll be left with 4y take away 3y, leaves me with 1y. So I'll be left with y is equal to, if I have 16 and I take away 4, that leaves me with 12. Okay, I found the value for y, so now I need to go back and find the value for x. Okay, so now find x. How I find x is I take the first equation, x plus 2y is equal to 8, and I can fill in what I already know. I already know that y is equal to 12. So in this case, I can say x plus 2 times 12 is equal to 8. So that gives me x plus 24 is equal to 8. So to find out what x is, I need to bring the 24 over to the other side. And we can see that I'm just going to move this positive 24 across. If I move a positive 24 to the opposite side, it'll turn into a negative 24. So I'll have 8 minus 24. And 8 subtract 24 will leave me with 8, 16, 24, negative 16. So my answers there are going to be positive 12 for y and negative 16 for x. So for question 8, we're going to start off by looking at it and seeing, will we get rid of the x's or will we get rid of the y's? In this case, it makes sense to get rid of the x's because all I need to do is multiply the first equation by 3. So I'll do that there. So if I multiply the first equation by 3, I'll get 3x minus 6y equals 27. The second equation stays the same, and that's 3x plus 7y equals 1. Okay, I need to look and think, how am I going to get rid of the x's in this case? So I need to either add or subtract these equations, and in this case, I'm going to subtract the equations. So if I subtract that, and subtract that, I'll be left with the x's cancelling. If I have negative 6y, and I subtract a further 7. So it's like if you owe the bank €6 and you borrow 7 more, you'll be left with negative 13. Is equal to 26. So to find out what 1y is, we divide both sides by negative 13, and that will give us negative 2. So that is our y value. We now need to go and find our x value. So now find x. So we'll take the first equation, which is x minus 2y equals 9. And instead of y, I can put in minus 2. So x minus 2 times negative 2 is equal to 9. So that will give us x plus 4 equals 9. So to find out what x is, what I need to do is I need to bring the positive 4 to the right hand side, and that will give me x is equal to 9 minus 4, so x is equal to 5. And that would be that one done. For this question here, so we're going to start off with simultaneous equations again. We've got x's, we've got y's. We need to get rid of either the x's or get rid of the y's. Okay, so we need to decide which one we're going to get rid of. In this case, I would suggest that we get rid of the y's, because I can scale up my second equation there by 2, and then the y's will cancel. So let's do that. If we times the second equation by 2, you should be able to see there that if I times the second equation by 2, I'll end up with 2y on my second equation, and negative 2y on my top one, and 2y's will cancel. So the first equation is not going to change. That's going to be 3x minus 2y equals 7. That's fine. But the second equation is going to turn into 8x plus 2y equals 26. Okay. I now need to look at them and see, am I going to add or subtract these equations? And if I was to add them, 2y's would cancel, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add them. So 3x plus 8x gives us 11x. 2y minus 2y means they cancel. And 7 plus 26 will give us 33, isn't it? So 7 plus 26 will give us 33. So to find out what 1x is, I divide both sides by 11, and 1x will be equal to 3. I'll just put in the divide by 11 for anyone that's unsure. Okay, so how we're going from that step to that step is we're dividing by 11. Now that we have a value for x, we can go back now and find the value for y. So now find y. So 3x minus 2y equals 7 is the first equation. So we just took the first equation there. And what I'm going to do is, instead of x, I'm going to put in 3. So let's do that. 3 times negative 3, or sorry, 3 times 3 even, minus 2y equals 7. Okay. 3 times 3 gives us 9, minus 2y equals 7. So I need to find out what minus 2y is equal to. And what I need to do there in order to find that is I need to bring the numbers to the right hand side. Okay, so just check that step again. So when I multiply them, I got 9 minus 2y equals 7. Okay. The next step here is to isolate the y terms. So if I get the y terms by themselves, I need to bring this across. So the y terms are now by themselves. 7 is on the right hand side. I'm bringing across the 9, so it's going to negative 9. So that leaves me with negative 2y equals negative 2. So if I divide both sides by negative 2, I get y is equal to 1. And that's by dividing the left hand side by negative 2 and dividing the right hand side by negative 2. Okay. So that would be the first question done. Okay, and now we're looking at question 11, right? So question 11, and I'll just give you a second to do that. If you're watching the video, you can pause it now. Okay, and now we'll get going on question 11. So you can see from all the questions that we've done so far, we managed to get rid of either the x's or the y's quite easily. So most of the questions, the easier questions, you could get rid of the x's or the y's straight away because they'd cancel if I was to add or subtract them. Okay. In the next level of questions, or the slightly more challenging questions, you need to scale up one of the equations before you cancel. Okay. In this kind of a question, which I consider to be the most challenging for simultaneous equations, okay, in this kind of a question, what I need to do is I need to scale up both. So if you look at this, if I want to get rid of the x's there, I can't get rid of the x's by scaling up one equation, because I can multiply this by 2 and I get 4x and 5x. If I multiply it by 2.5, it just gets messy. I can't really do that. If I wanted to get rid of the y's, if I multiply this by 2, I'd get 4y. So it's very hard to get rid of either the x's or the y's by just scaling up one equation. So the easiest way to do this is to scale up both equations. Okay. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the y's. Okay. You can pick. It doesn't matter if you get rid of the x's, if you get rid of the y's. The reason why I'm going to get rid of the y's is because they're just smaller numbers. So if I was dealing with the x's, I'd have to scale the top one up by 5 and the bottom one up by 2. If I get rid of the y's, I just need to scale them up by 2 and 3, so it's slightly easier. So let me just show you what I mean by that, right? So if I want to get rid of the y's, I need to make sure I have the same value in front of the y's. Okay? So I'm going to turn both these y's into 6y's. Okay? So let me just show you what I mean by that. So what I need to do is I need to turn the first equation, I need to turn this 3y into 6y. And the second equation, I need to turn this negative 2y into a negative 6y. Okay? And how I do that is I multiply the first equation by 2, and I multiply the bottom equation by 3. And you can see there, if I did that, 2 times 3y will give me 6y. 3 times negative 2y gives me negative 6y. So I just need to fill in the rest of the information, right? So 2 times 2x, so I'm going to start with the first equation. 2 times 2x will give me 4x. 2 times 3y will give me plus 6y. 2 times 5 will give me 10. Okay. For the second equation, 3 times 5x will give me 15x. 3 times negative 2y gives me negative 6. And 3 times negative 16 will give me negative 45, 46, 47, 48. Negative 48. So let me just make sure that negative 48, all right, yeah. Okay, I now need to look at what I have. I have two equations. If I was to add them, the y's will cancel. So what I'll do is I'll add those two equations. The y's will cancel. And I'll end up with 4x plus 15x is 19x is equal to 10 plus negative 48 is negative 38. So negative 38, divide that by 19, will give you 2. So x will be equal to negative 2. That's my first equation done. Or my first value found even. Now I need to find y. So now find y. So to find y, all I need to do is take the first equation, which is 2x plus 3y equals 5. And I just need to sub in the value for x, and the value for x in this case is negative 2. So 2 times negative 2 plus 3y is equal to 5. So 2 times negative 2 gives us negative 4 plus 3y equals 5. So in order to get the y's by themselves, I'll need to bring that negative 4 over to the other side. And that will give me 3y equals 5 plus 4. So 3y will be equal to 9. So y will be equal to 3 if I divide both sides by 3. Okay. Just be very, very careful there. When you bring the negative 4 across, it turns into a positive 4. Add them together and you'll get 9. 3y equals 9, so 1y is equal to divide both sides by 3, and we'll get y is equal to 3. And for homework, we'll have